Over Mariachi Águilas. Claro que sí. Thank you.
Thank you. So you might ask, well, some of the larger cities throughout the United States as well as in the homelands are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. But would it be surprising for you if I told you that Northwest Arkansas also has a Hispanic Heritage Month festival going on? Is that surprising? I would think to many of us it would be, right? And this year they're actually featuring the country known as El Salvador, and their events are going October 1st and 2nd. But we all expect that New York City to have a Hispanic Heritage Month event, and of course that's going on right now. But what about Charlotte, North Carolina? Is that surprising for everyone? Yeah? Let me come over here. Is that surprising to everybody here on this side of the room? Yeah. So they actually have a festival called Hola Charlotte, and it's happening on October the 1st. Los Angeles has month-long of celebrations. They're actually playing one night at the library downtown. They're playing La Loteria, and it's called Join Us at the Museum for that one night. But many of us, including the mariachi and a few others in the audience, were at the celebration that the Consul General of Mexico celebrated up at Olivas Adobe on Thursday. And it featured, bringing in the Mexican flag. It also featured not only the national anthem of Mexico, but what they call El Grito de Dolores, which is the cry for independence that happened the night of September the 15th in a city called Dolores, right? And it was done by Father Hidalgo. And that was led actually by two priests and several other people that wanted to have their area, the nation, actually split off from Spain because it was called Nueva España, and that was in 1810. Tampa Bay also has Hispanic Heritage Festival, Miami, and Chicago. And of course then just to the north of us, Oxnard has a weekend festivals going on with a parade actually happening tomorrow in downtown Oxnard. But one other city that I thought was really interesting that has a Hispanic Heritage Month is the state of Pennsylvania, and it's happening in Harrisburg. And they entitled this year's celebration, Embracing, Enriching, and Enabling America. And that's happening on September the 20th. So could we have another song in front of us?
Sure.
Thanks.
Homenaje a la canción mexicana.
thing is that, I have lots and lots of family that still live in Mexico. Most of them have moved from Arandas, which is part of Los Altos de Jalisco, and they've moved on to really establish their family zone in Mexico City. So from Mexico City, you can get pretty much anywhere throughout the country. And one year, I had the pleasure of going to Cuautla. So how many of you been to Cuautla before?
Where?
Cuautla? Cuautla. No?
Is that in different states? Morelos?
It is, yes. It is. It's in Morelos. And a few years ago, they opened up a new museum called El Museo de las Independencias. And it is actually to recognize both independences, not only of 1810, but the Mexican Revolution of 1910. And it is because both of them actually kind of started from that area. And it was really kind of amazing to be there within like the first week that they opened it. And if you've never been to a museum in Mexico, you have to go, because they're very modern and beautiful the way they display things. But that Museo de las Independencias is actually to highlight then those that moved in front of all of us, moved in front of not only those that come from Mexico, but my heritage too, to make something better for everyone, for the community. That area also is called El Nido de las Águilas, I believe is what they also nicknamed it, because that was then the start of both revolutions. I have a few national anthems that I'd like to play so you can get a feel for the words if you know Spanish, or just the anthems from some of these other countries. So let's go ahead and listen to then the anthem from Mexico. So let me cue that up. And I hear one of the folks back here actually humming this song. And it's not the bus. Right? And yeah. Just a few more minutes here, so can you finish out the presentation? I thank everyone for coming today, including the ladies from Mestizo Oxnard College and Mariachi Águilas de México.
So we'll finish up with something that showcases every instrument in the mariachi. We have violins, trumpets, a classical guitar, and a vihuela, and guitarrón, which are indigenous instruments of Mexico. So it's kind of like a guitar, but a more high-pitched type of sound. And our bass, the guitarrón, which is like the heartbeat of our mariachi. So this is el cascabel.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Larry and Roberta Downing, who are our wonderful commissioners here at the Historical Museum. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem John Sharkey, for being here and handling the camera. And thank you to the Ladies Mestizo Oxnard College as well. Thank you so much. Have an awesome Hispanic Heritage Month. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You bring our Hispanic Heritage Month. This is unbelievable. Thank God for immigration. We're all immigrants. I hope everybody, first of all, so I can get these out of my hands and put them into yours. Sylvia, there's something you go home with and go to sleep with. There's some flowers.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say this about my friend Sylvia. Sylvia, when we came up with the Distinguished Speaking Series, was the first person to speak at the Hueneme Museum. And after that, I came to Sylvia and asked her if she could do Hispanic Heritage Month, and that was close to a year ago. And Sylvia has volunteered to come here Saturday a month to greet people, but also to serve as our outreach to the Hispanic community, so when they come in, they're able to enjoy the museum and know that the Hispanic community is so much a part of the city of Hueneme. And for everybody's information, this year, because of Sylvia volunteering and the opportunity I've had to plan in advance, we've got speakers lined up all through next year. Part of it is we're having an outreach to the Hispanic community, we're outreaching to the African American community, to the people of the Jewish faith. We found someone from the Middle East that's going to give a talk. We have speakers that will speak from on the Filipino community in Ventura County, the Germanic community, where we have a lady that probably next September will be coming in from Germany, which will do a presentation here on German immigration in America. So because of Sylvia's efforts, and I have to mention that Councilman Jim Hensley has worked hard to help me with Hispanic Heritage Month. And it's, as you know, we're the Museum of Hueneme, so we represent everybody and we have no political stance on anything. We're just a museum that's outreaching to bring culture to our community. And in parting, I'd like to welcome Captain Bob Quinn, our Annapolis graduate, and a very helpful person to the Museum of Hueneme. Thank you, Bob. And again, Beverly Kelly, who does all of our flyers and outreach to publications. We had Jane Quazone, who comes in every Tuesday and does scrapbooking for us of all these old articles from the 1920s and 30s that we're cutting out and putting into a scrapbook so you can all enjoy them. And we have Jenny, my friend the farmer, who I love calling the farmer because she used to have a farm. And we have Eileen Tracy, who's going to do a talk next year on the Savior's family, where she's done a great deal of research. And I'd like to welcome our friends from Mexico, from Mexicali, correct? Yeah. For coming back. I was looking for you. And I'd also like to recognize Faye, whose husband was a Bataan Death March survivor. And thank you for coming, Faye. And I'd like to remind everybody that to come to Veterans Day on November 11th at 9 o'clock at the Civic Center. And Mayor Pro Tem Sharkey will be leading it up. Captain Quinn will be a part of this event. Master Chief Daniels will be a part. We're almost sure that Julia Bromley will be here. We're going to have Kathy Long. And the program will be pretty much all of veterans. And we also outreach the Boys and Girls Club. They're going to be singing God Bless America. We've got the junior ROTC from Hueneme High that's going to be doing the colors. The Ben Morale Battalion on the CB base of young kids is going to be part of it, because I believe that it's the next generation that's going to carry on for what our veterans have done for this nation. And that's why they're going to be an active participation in this. And I would like to thank all of you for taking the time to come to the Hueneme Museum. I hope you enjoyed this event. And that's it, folks.
Thank you. There's still coffee and bagels if you're hungry.
Thank you for taking the time to drive over here.
Well, let's come over.
The patriot of this island.
Yes.
Did I do okay?